Truman inspired future presidents to connect with American citizens, although presidents found it difficult to accomplish. However, those who did were successful.
Harry Ship Truman was born to John and Martha Truman on May 8, 1884, in Lamar, Missouri. Growing up as a headstrong young man, he ventured to leave a mark in our nation's government. His supervisors always said his appearance is good and habits and character are of the best. He attended the University of Missouri, and he also served in our National Guard and Army. When Harry first joined the Senate, he started out with a bad reputation, and eventually he proved himself by displaying his talent of determination and candid speech. With the death of President Roosevelt, his first term of presidency started on April 12, 1945.
Most people know Harry Truman for World War II and dropping the atomic bomb on Japan. While Germany surrendered, a few weeks later, Harry Truman went into presidency. The war was expected to last another year or more. Truman approved the use of atomic weapons against Japan, intending to force Japan's surrender and spare American lives in a planned invasion. Also, when he sent troops in immediately to help South Korea when North Korea was invaded in 1950. Working with Congress, he insisted in founding the United Nations, which is our world's peacemaker. The purpose of the UN was to create peace and stability throughout our world. His huge help with founding Israel on May 14, 1948, has helped the U.S. economy tremendously. Harry created a groundbreaking legacy in our nation's history.
But before the action started, Harry Truman built strong relationships with simple citizens that lasted a lifetime. Harry Truman connected with the common man through his campaigns, letters, and phone calls. In a letter between George Marquis and Harry Truman, they discussed an issue going on within their grand chapter and how it had to be resolved. However, George had written the letter while in the hospital, and Harry was worried that George wasn't getting enough rest. So in response, Harry sent a letter back saying that he needed to rest and take care of himself. George Marquis was a longtime friend of Harry Truman who resided in Independence, Missouri. They have carried on in many activities in the community. This depicts an event where Harry, even the highest position of government, took time out to acknowledge his old friend and make sure he was in good health.
In a recent interview with Beth Kaiser, she explained to us that Harry Truman was always in town greeting and catching up with his old friends. Beth Kaiser is an Omaha native, and she explained to us that her parents were good friends with Harry Ship Truman.
They were interviewing President Obama, and he quoted Harry Truman twice yesterday. One was, he said, Harry Truman said, if you want a friend in Washington, D.C., get a dog. And the other one, he has this sign in the library, the bus stops here. And he had that on his desk in the White House.
A recent politician, such as our current president, mentioned Truman in a political speech. That just shows that even being gone for many years, his legacy still lives on in present-day politics. This relates to our topic because Harry kept in contact with his old friends so that they would know that just because he was president, he still cared for them. This added on to his legacy because Harry wasn't an over-the-top person. He was humble and down-to-earth.
Harry, even after his campaign, election, and presidency, he kept those relationships alive and prosperous. In an interview with Mark Purdy, we talked to him about Harry's appearance at his old friend George Marquis's wedding anniversary. Mark stated that Harry Truman was cordial and nice to everyone at the anniversary, and he didn't give a speech. Everyone was excited to see him, but Harry Truman didn't expect or want any special treatment. He just wanted to blend into the crowd. He wasn't there for his own promotion, he was just there to see old friends. This shows a lot about the kind of person Harry was. He cared even if George wasn't his closest friend. The point to him was no matter how close or how often he talked to the person, you're my friend and I am here for you.
Do you think current politicians should embody Harry Truman and the legacy he left behind? Well, Ben Cardin certainly does.
thought about Harry Truman, and I thought about how he would have decided, and I voted against sending our troops to Iraq. So Harry Truman has taught me that if you stick by what you believe, you're not only going to do the right thing, but ultimately you'll benefit from it.
Senator Cardin believes that with the legacy of changing American history forever, Harry Truman wasn't your average man or president. He was the kind of man who trusted his instincts, and with that, he has influenced a lot of Senator Cardin's decisions as a man of the Senate. Senator Cardin explained that when everyone was telling Truman to not worry about Israel and establishing it, he followed his instincts and led Israel from oblivion. Senator Cardin did the same when he had to make a decision on whether it was right to send troops into Iraq, and he thought, what would Harry Truman do? And in that thought, he decided not to authorize the decision. Even being gone for 42 years, Harry Truman had a big influence on recent politicians in our nation's government.
His legacy of making the tough but right decisions set him apart from past presidents, even if it could cost him re-election. Harry Truman's legacy included not only presidential affiliations, but also enduring bonds that have made recent politicians and well-known activists want to strive to be a part or exceed his legacy. We conclude saying that Harry Truman was a man of honor and integrity. His people-oriented actions have stayed in the hearts and minds of people all over the country. His legacy will live on and on for generations and years to come.